The European Union just issued something unprecedented. For the first time in decades, they've warned citizens to prepare for major crises. Not just small emergencies, but real, sustained disasters. And when crisis hits, grocery stores empty in hours, not days. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. What will you eat when the shelves are bare? In this video, I'm going to reveal 6 essential foods that separate those who merely survive from those who actually thrive during emergencies. You'll learn exactly how to store them, how much they cost, and survival strategies most people have never even considered. And here's something that'll blow your mind. One of these foods literally never expires, ever. Welcome to Crisis Horizon, where we cut through the panic and give you real, actionable strategies to prepare for the unexpected. If this information could save your family during a crisis, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical survival intel. And make sure you watch until the end, because that last food item might be the most important one on your list, and it's the one most people completely overlook. Let's start with the foundation, the absolute bedrock of any serious survival stockpile. We're talking about white rice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rice? That's boring. That's basic. But here's what most people don't understand. White rice can last up to 30 years when stored properly. 30 years. That's not a typo. The secret isn't how you store it. You need airtight containers, preferably food-grade buckets with gamma-seal lids. Throw in some oxygen absorbers and you've essentially created a time capsule for your calories. But why white rice specifically? Why not brown rice, which everyone says is healthier? Simple. Brown rice has oils in the bran layer that go rancid. White rice has had that layer removed, which is exactly why it lasts decades instead of months. Now let's talk economics. With grocery prices climbing higher every single month, buying rice in bulk isn't just smart for emergencies, it's smart for your wallet right now. A 20-pound bag costs a fraction of what you'll pay if you buy it meal by meal. And during a crisis, we're not talking about gourmet dining. We're talking about survival. Rice provides the carbohydrates and calories your body needs to function, to stay warm, to keep moving. It's the foundation that keeps you alive. Here's the calculation you need to do. The average adult needs about 1 pound of rice per day to meet basic caloric needs during high-stress survival situations. That means for a family of 4, you're looking at 120 pounds per month. Sounds like a lot, right? But when you break down the costs, it's one of the most affordable survival strategies you can implement. But rice alone isn't enough. Your body can't survive on carbohydrates forever. You need protein, and that's where our second critical food comes in: dried beans. Dried beans are an absolute powerhouse. We're talking about pinto beans, black beans, kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas. These aren't just side dishes. These are survival gold. Here's a fact that surprises most people. Beans provide more protein per serving than many meats. A single cup of cooked beans gives you about 15 grams of protein. That's substantial. And the shelf life. When stored properly in the same way as rice, dried beans can last 20 to 30 years. Decades of protein sitting in your pantry, waiting for when you need it most. But here's where beans become truly remarkable, and this is something most survival guides don't tell you. You can sprout them. Sprouting beans transforms them from a dried storage food into fresh, living nutrition. All you need is water and a jar. No soil, no garden, no electricity. Within 3 to 5 days, you've got fresh sprouts packed with vitamins and enzymes that your body desperately needs during long-term crisis situations. This is how you fight off scurvy and malnutrition when fresh vegetables become impossible to find. Now let's talk cost. Dried beans are incredibly affordable, especially when you buy in bulk from warehouse stores or online suppliers. You can get 25-pound bags for less than what most people spend on a single restaurant meal. And during a crisis, we're not talking about gourmet dining. We're talking about survival. Beans provide the carbohydrates and protein your body needs to function, to stay warm, to keep moving. It's the foundation that keeps you alive. So how much do you need? For that same family of 4, you want about 60 pounds of dried beans per month in your stockpile. Mix up your varieties because different beans have different nutrients, and quite honestly, you'll go insane eating the same thing every single day. Variety matters for morale, which matters more than most people realize during extended emergencies. Now, we've covered carbohydrates with rice and protein with beans, but let's be honest, during a real crisis, you're going to want actual meat. And that brings us to our third essential: canned meats. When the power goes out, and it will go out during major crises, your freezer becomes a ticking time bomb. You've got maybe 48 hours before everything starts to spoil. Fresh meat, gone within days. But canned meat, that sits safely on your shelf for years. We're talking about canned chicken, canned tuna, canned salmon, canned ham, even canned beef. These aren't the disgusting mystery meats your grandfather complained about. Modern canning technology has come a long way. The quality is legitimate, the protein content is substantial, and the shelf life is remarkable.
Here's something the food industry doesn't want you to know. Those expiration dates on canned goods are wildly conservative. They're legal protection, not science. Properly stored canned meats can last 5, 10, even 15 years beyond their printed dates if the can isn't dented, rusted, or swollen. Obviously, use your judgment, inspect before eating, but don't automatically throw out a can just because the date has passed. The protein in canned meat is crucial because it's complete, it's dense, and it requires zero preparation beyond opening the can. During a crisis, when you're stressed, exhausted, and possibly dealing with limited cooking fuel, the ability to eat protein straight from the can is invaluable. Here's a pro tip: buy easy open cans, the ones with pull tabs. Why? Because when you're in an emergency, you might not have a can opener. It might be lost, broken, or you might need to grab your supplies and move quickly. Those few seconds matter. The easier your food is to access, the better your survival odds. For stockpiling, aim for at least 3 cans per person per week in your household. That gives you protein variety without breaking the bank. Rotate them into your regular meals so nothing goes to waste, and replace as you use them. This rotation system keeps your stockpile fresh and your skills sharp. Now, let's talk about something truly extraordinary, something that has literally been found in Egyptian tombs 3,000 years old and was still perfectly edible. I'm talking about honey. Honey never expires. Never. Not in 10 years, not in 100 years, not in 1,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that were still good. The reason comes down to chemistry. Honey has an incredibly low moisture content and is naturally acidic, creating an environment where bacteria and microorganisms simply cannot survive. But honey isn't just eternal, it's functional. In survival situations, honey provides quick energy. The natural sugars are easily digested and immediately available to your body. When you're exhausted, when you've been rationing food, when your blood sugar crashes, a spoonful of honey can quite literally keep you moving. Beyond calories, honey has natural antibiotic properties. This isn't folk medicine or wishful thinking. This is documented science. Medical grade honey is used in hospitals to treat wounds. During a crisis, when you can't get to a doctor, when antibiotics aren't available, honey applied to cuts and burns can prevent infection. It can save your life. And here's something most people never consider: barter value. When the economy collapses, when money becomes worthless paper, tangible goods become currency. Honey, with its eternal shelf life and multiple uses, becomes incredibly valuable. A jar of honey might trade for medications, tools, or other essentials you desperately need. Storage is simple. Keep it in a sealed container, preferably glass, in a cool, dark place. If it crystallizes, that's normal and actually proves it's real honey. Just warm it gently and it'll return to liquid. For stockpiling, aim for at least 1 gallon per person per year. It takes up minimal space and provides maximum long-term value. Now let's talk about a survival food that's massively underrated. Something sitting in your pantry right now that you probably take for granted: pasta. Dried pasta can last 25 years or more when stored properly. 25 years of spaghetti, penne, macaroni, whatever shapes you prefer. And here's why pasta matters beyond just calories. It's comfort food. During a crisis, when everything is chaos and fear, when you're exhausted and demoralized, a warm bowl of pasta provides psychological relief. Never underestimate the power of morale during extended emergencies. Pasta is also incredibly versatile. You can eat it with canned tomato sauce, with canned meats, with beans, with just butter and salt if that's all you have. It adapts to whatever ingredients you've got available. And it's filling. A small amount of dried pasta expands significantly when cooked, meaning you can stretch your supplies further. From a preparation standpoint, pasta only needs boiling water and about 10 minutes. If fuel is scarce, you can even cold soak pasta. It takes longer, several hours, but it works. This flexibility makes pasta practical even when resources are severely limited. Cost-wise, pasta is a stockpiling dream. You can buy boxes for under $1 during sales. Load up, get variety, get different shapes and sizes, because that psychological variety matters over weeks and months of emergency living. Store it in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, just like rice, and you've got decades of meals ready to go. For a family of 4, stockpile at least 50 pounds of pasta. That might sound excessive until you realize that during a sustained crisis, you'll be rotating through your foods constantly, and pasta will be one of your most used staples because it's easy, it's fast, and it makes people feel better. And now we reach the final essential, the one that represents the cutting edge of survival food technology: freeze-dried meals. Freeze-dried food has come an incredibly long way from the cardboard-tasting military rations your grandfather complained about. Today's freeze-dried meals include everything from stroganoff to pad thai to breakfast scrambles. We're talking legitimate, restaurant-quality food that has been preserved through a process that removes moisture while maintaining flavor and nutrition. The shelf life on properly packaged freeze-dried meals is staggering, 25 to 30 years. And unlike canned goods, freeze-dried food is lightweight. A week's worth of freeze-dried meals weighs a fraction of what the equivalent canned food weighs. If you need to evacuate, if you need to move your supplies, this matters enormously.
Add boiling water, wait 10 to 15 minutes, and you've got a complete meal. Some meals can even be prepared with cold water, though it takes longer. This ease of preparation is critical when you're dealing with the stress and exhaustion of a real emergency. But here's what most people don't consider: variety and morale. After 2 weeks of eating rice and beans, even the most stoic person starts to break down mentally. The ability to have a completely different meal, something that actually tastes good, something that reminds you of normal life, this keeps you mentally sharp. This keeps you hopeful. This keeps you functioning. The downside? Cost. Freeze-dried meals are expensive compared to rice and beans. But that's exactly why they're essential. You're not eating freeze-dried meals every day. You're using them strategically. One freeze-dried meal a week per person. That's enough to maintain morale without destroying your budget. Look for sales. Buy from reputable companies that specialize in long-term food storage. Check reviews because quality varies wildly between brands. And always buy more than you think you need. Because in a real crisis, you won't regret having extra food. You'll only regret not having enough. So let's bring this all together. These 6 foods, white rice, dried beans, canned meats, honey, pasta, and freeze-dried meals, they work as a system. They're not just random items thrown in a closet. They're a comprehensive survival strategy. Rice provides your calories and carbohydrates. Beans provide protein and can be sprouted for fresh nutrition. Canned meats give you variety and complete protein. Honey provides energy, medicine, and barter value while literally lasting forever. Pasta offers comfort and versatility. And freeze-dried meals maintain your morale and mental health during extended crises. Here's how you calculate what you need. Start with a 2-week supply for your household. That's your minimum, your starting point. Once you've got 2 weeks covered, expand to 1 month, then 3 months. If you're serious about preparation, work towards 6 months or even a year. It sounds overwhelming, but you don't do it all at once. You do it gradually, adding to your stockpile with every shopping trip. Storage matters. Keep everything in a cool, dark, dry place. Basements work if they're not damp. Closets work. Under beds works. Get creative with your space. Use food-grade buckets, Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and label everything with dates so you can rotate properly. And rotation is crucial. You're not building a stockpile to sit untouched for 20 years. You're building a living system. You eat from your stockpile and replace what you use. This keeps everything fresh, keeps you familiar with your supplies, and ensures nothing goes to waste. Start this week. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Pick one item from this list and buy extra next time you shop. Maybe it's a 20-pound bag of rice. Maybe it's 10 cans of tuna. Maybe it's a big jar of honey. Just start. Because the EU warning isn't a joke. Crises are coming. Economic instability, supply chain disruptions, natural disasters. They're not hypothetical anymore. They're reality. The people who prepare aren't paranoid. They're smart. They're the ones who'll sleep peacefully knowing their families are protected. They're the ones who won't be fighting crowds at empty grocery stores when panic sets in. You've now got the knowledge. You know the 6 critical foods. You know how to store them. You know how much you need. The only question left is, will you act? If this video gave you actionable information that could protect your family, smash that like button. Subscribe to Crisis Horizon for more real-world survival strategies that cut through the noise and give you what actually works. And drop a comment telling me which of these 6 foods you're stockpiling first. Remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Don't wait for the crisis to start. By then, it's already too late.